Hello there, Rainbow Nerd, Tori here. How are we? I hope you're all doing well. So it is October 1st as I'm filming this. Happy October, happy spooky season. Hence why I'm dressed like this. I think my pumpkins are just out of shot, but you can still tell the general vibe of the outfit. I went to a pumpkin patch this morning, really got into the season of things. And as for Disneyland Paris, the 30th anniversary ended yesterday. We are not going to talk about that because otherwise I will cry. But Halloween season has officially started today. And I don't know what prompted me to want to make this video, but I thought it would be quite useful for you guys. We are going to be talking about the different weathers and seasons at Disneyland Paris. So make sure you will pack right because the weather is a bit unpredictable. So we need to talk about that. Being in with the seasonal, we've got the notes on my spooky poo phone. So I do apologise if you're not watching this in October and I'm just stood here just like this, but if you are watching this in October, hi. So what I generally tend to say for my UK friends heading to Disneyland Paris or friends from nearby countries in Europe that border onto France is usually the weather is pretty same. Paris and London weather is pretty similar because obviously they are really close. So that is what I say to my English friends. Just kind of judge what the weather is like over here. Will give you a good understanding of what it is over there. They are usually a little bit hotter because obviously they are a little bit further south than us. So they do just have temperatures a bit higher than us, but generally speaking it's a good rule of thumb. If you're in the south of England, you can usually judge that as a good thing of what it's going to be like in Paris. But I do understand a lot of my audience is international, so we're going to work through the 4 seasons of the year to give you a good understanding of what to expect at Disneyland Paris so you know just how to pack. So you know just what to pack. So I think first we'll start off with autumn because that is what we are currently in. And I have classed autumn as September, October and November. Starting in September you'll find the low temperatures, so like evenings, so when you're like watching the nighttime shows, it's 13 degrees Celsius and the highs will be 22 degrees Celsius. So during the day it can still get pretty hot, but at nighttime it will start to chill down. Then on to October, which is obviously what we're in now, the lows get down to 10 degrees and the highs will probably be around 17 degrees. So still pretty warm for like what we're used to over here, but getting cooler. And then November it gets down to 6 degrees and highs of 11 degrees, so you're starting to get a bit chillier then. Now personally, these months are my favourite time of the year to visit the Disney parks, particularly Disneyland Paris. Obviously that's what we're talking about. So September wise is probably my favourite month to visit because the kids have just gone back to school, so crowds are generally a bit quieter than if you were to go like in August. And you've still got pretty good weather. As I said, during the day you're still going to be getting like, you know, 20 degrees, mid 20s sometimes if you're lucky. So you're still getting good weather, but not to the point where in like, you know, the height of summer months like July, you're getting heat waves and you can't do anything. So it's a good temperature because when you go on holiday you want to have a nice temperature, don't you? So it's a good temperature, good enough to still be doing everything, and you're getting good crowds. Then as you work your way through October to November, obviously it is just slightly getting cooler the further down you get. So what I'd recommend for September is to me it's still pretty much a summery month. We've had a really good September, and from what I've been seeing at Paris it has been really hot over there, so you can probably still get away with your summery clothes like your shorts, your skirts, your dresses, short sleeves, but do pack in your bags. Not like necessarily coats, but like a cardigan, a fleece, just to chuck on maybe for the mornings. If you're doing extra magic hours it might still be a bit nippy out, and definitely for the evenings. Do not underestimate how cold it will get during the fireworks at Paris. So always just have a cardigan in your bag just in case. As for working your way through the rest of autumn, that's when I like to start introducing the layering options, which we'll get into for the winter months. Because when it's not really cold enough to warrant a whole winter coat, what my favourite thing to do is, because obviously you're going to Disney, you still want to have cute outfits. Like this is going to be one of my outfits on my trip. So my go-to is layering up. So for this dress that I'll be having for one of my Halloween days at the parks, obviously I don't want to cover this up with a coat because then it ruins the whole point of having a cute outfit. So what I'll do is layer up underneath, depending on like the time of year I'm visiting, depending on how many layers I'll do. For when I'm going in October, I'm going mid-October, so it shouldn't really be too cold. I've been looking ahead at the 10-day forecast and it's still looking pretty good. It's still looking like 20s, like high teens, so pretty good weather. Usually I would suggest that I'd wear a long sleeve underneath this, so like a black long sleeve, just to like cover up a bit more of up here and also cover my arms a bit, and that'll give me an extra layer around my body. That's what I'd usually say, but looking at the 10-day forecast going ahead, it's still looking really good. So I might either wear a vest top underneath the dress or simply just pack a cardigan, because you know, the weather's looking pretty decent. So November is when it starts to get a bit different. Obviously October can still be pretty good weather at the beginning half. The end bit is when it starts to get a bit colder, but that's when I suggest layering and cardigans, maybe a small coat, but obviously you don't want to carry it around during the day. So maybe a small coat somewhere. November is when you need to seriously start your layering. So I haven't actually been in November for quite a while, so I can't really give you my 100% expertise knowledge on that, but going off of what I know, I would definitely do some layering, maybe a vest and a long sleeve under my dress, and then a big fleece. And because you can always go back to your car, if you've got like a park hopper ticket or something, you can go back to your car and grab a bigger coat if needed. Layering is always my best tip for autumn/winter, because you can put more on if you need and you can take it off. What's most important to me is that my cute outfit is always on top. So moving on to winter, which I've got down as December, January and February. This is the coldest time of the year for Paris. Do not underestimate how cold it can get. For December, you are looking at lows of 4 degrees and highs of 8 degrees. January, you're looking at lows of 3 degrees, highs of 8 degrees, and then February, you're looking at lows of 2 degrees and highs of 9 degrees. So, you know, nice tropical weather. In these months, it's when you do sometimes have to sacrifice your cute outfit for layering. Obviously, staying warm is top priority, I guess. But you still do really want to layer. My top tip that I did on my last Christmas trip, because it was so cold, I had my big fluffy coat on, but underneath that I had my dress, and then underneath all that I had layers. I had a vest top, a long sleeve top, and then a bodysuit, and then my dress, and then my coat. So when I was in line for meet and greets, when I was the next person up, I'd take my coat off, throw it to the side, you know, by the photo pass cameraman, have my meet and greet with the character, and then instantly put it back on. That's what I found was the easiest, so then you can still, in all your photos, you'll still have your cute outfit, but when you're walking around the park, you still have the practicality of staying warm. Just the people online will never know that you had a coat on because you ditched it by the camera. And when you think about how quick meet and greets go and how quick a photo is, that's why I feel quite okay just ditching it, but that's only because I do make sure I have my layers up underneath. If you are going to be ditching your coats for photos, do make sure you layer. And also hats, ear warmers, protect those ears, it gets cold again. So in the winter months, Disneyland Paris will adjust its opening hours. So obviously during the summer, fireworks are at like 11 PM, autumn it's about 10 PM. Winter, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it might be 9 PM, it might say at 10, I want to say 9 or 8 PM actually. So they're bringing it forward, so, but it's still going to be really cold stood there in the evenings. So make sure you've got your hats, your ear warmers, your scarves, your gloves, your mittens, your fluffy socks. Also, just a quick top tip, fluffy socks aren't actually that warming. They just feel nice and are just nice. But if you are going to go with fluffy socks, make sure you've got socks on underneath them, because trust me, fluffy socks are doing nothing for you to keep the warmth in when you're out in the Paris winter weather. So what I would do, because as you guys know, I'm a dresses kind of person, so I usually go for, say I'm going at Christmas time and I've got a Christmas dress on, I will have 2 pairs of tights. I will have a skin colour pair on as the base pair, and then my other tights on top, which will match in with the rest of my outfit. Then I'll obviously have shorts on under my dress, which I also count as a layer. So you've got 2 tights on, and then I put socks on top of my tights, and then maybe a fluffy sock option on top of that, and then my shoes. So you've got 2 pairs of tights and 2 pairs of socks and then shoes. And trust me, your toes will still get cold, because do not underestimate winter in Europe. It gets chilly. I think out of all the winter months, January is the coldest time. I have been quite often during January, and my photos from my January trips are never very glamorous photos, because I don't, it's too cold to do my coat ditch and dash for photos. I have nothing to say about January, it's cold. But the good thing with January is it is the quietest month. Like, would you believe it if I told you I did Peter Pan's Flight as a walk-on numerous times? Because it's January and no one wants to go. That's why I love going during January, because no one else wants to go. The ride queues are short, but you also do need to keep in mind that because it is their quietest month, a lot of things will be down for refurbishments, but you've still got a lot to do. So I'm usually fairly happy with that. Now, so many people talk about wanting to go to Disneyland Paris during the snow, because yes, the pictures look amazing. It looks incredible. I'm not too sure what other parks do get snow. Obviously California and Orlando don't get snow. Not too sure about the Asian parks. Not too sure about that. But Paris during the winter, we get a lot of snow. And everyone is always talking about how they want to experience Disneyland in the snow. Because just a quick Google search, have a look for yourself. It is really magical. The pictures look absolutely amazing. And yet I've experienced Disneyland Paris in the snow so many times. For the aesthetic and pictures, yes, it is absolutely magical. It was amazing. Obviously, when you go in December, you've got the Snope on Main Street, which is fake snow. It's like soap sort of things, hence the word Snope. But in January, February sort of time is when we actually get real snow. There's nothing like walking down Main Street with real snow. And you've got Central Plaza just covered in it. All the flower beds are covered in snow. It looks so pretty. However, it is the most impractical thing to have at a theme park, because as you can imagine, nothing happens. So obviously they need to clear the pathways and everything for the guests and stuff like that, which obviously causes little bits of slip and slides here and there, which also mean, you know, when you're scraping away snow, it leaves slush, which is wet and all of that. And obviously costume characters aren't really waterproof costumes, so you'll find a lot of the outdoor character meet and greets like Pooh and Stitch who have their set meet and greets on Main Street. You have the surprise ones in Fantasyland, various ones in Frontierland. Usually they're going to be cancelled because their outfits aren't really waterproof. And speaking of waterproof, the parades. For January, for the floats, for the characters, for so many reasons, it's just not health and safety to have a parade going on during snowy weather, so they're usually cancelled. And also if the snow's fallen overnight, they can usually sort things out in the short hours between night and them opening. They can usually sort things out, but if there's snow falling during the day, obviously you do have to keep in mind outdoor rides like say Big Thunder Mountain, Indiana Jones, any like ride that has a track that is outside, that is going to be getting snow on it, that the track's going to be getting slippy, so there's a lot of times where outdoor rides will get closed because obviously the tracks aren't safe for the ride to go on. And also rides like Autopia, those will get shut because no one wants to sit on a snowy car seat and again slippy slopes, which means all the indoor attractions like the dark rides, Phantom Manor, Buzz Lightyear, Star Tours, all the indoor rides, their queues will pick up with these few people that decided to turn up during the snow. They're going to head for the indoor rides because the outdoor rides are closed. So yes, it is absolutely magical to see Disneyland in the snow, but it's not something I'd recommend. If you're a local to Disneyland Paris, by all means go. But for my friends that are coming from across the pond, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, yes, it's going to be absolutely magical coming to Disney in the snow. It's going to look amazing in your pictures. But you are going to be disappointed with the amount of stuff you can't do and the amount of stuff that's cancelled because of health and safety. So, you know, come, if you want to experience snow, come in December, Christmas, and enjoy fake snow because it still looks pretty and it is health and safety friendly. So winter's done, we're into spring, things are starting to warm up a bit. This is like my other favourite time other than September to visit because again, similar weather, not too hot, not too cold. So spring is March, April, May, and let's go through the temperatures. So March, lows of 5 degrees, highs of 13 degrees. We're starting to get there again. April is lows of 8 degrees, highs of 17 degrees. And May is lows of 11 degrees and highs of 20 degrees. So, you know, that's pretty much getting to summertime for me. End of March, beginning of April is my sort of time. Other than September is my preferred time to go because it's decent weather. Obviously, you do need to be aware of like the various school holidays, like Easter holidays, Easter holidays. I don't think there's a March term. There's a May bank holiday, but I don't really worry about May. So yeah, just look at where Easter is falling and then plan around when the kids are going to be there, and then you're going to get the pretty decent queue times again. And as I said, you've got all right weather. So during the day, it's still going to be pretty nice weather. Obviously March, 13 degrees during the day for Disneyland Paris is still pretty good. For me, that's my kind of weather because it's not too cold, not too hot, so you don't need to do layering. You're not absolutely sweating. Obviously everything is open, nothing's getting cancelled because of snow, so that's my like preferred time to go. And that also kind of mirrors into what we were saying about autumn. You can still wear like pretty summery clothes, but with layering. So in the early mornings and late evenings, you can have something just to pop on, just to keep you pretty, just to like warm you up a bit when it's starting to cool down. But midday, it's pretty nice weather, t-shirt weather. And obviously you're at Disney, you're going to be moving about a lot, so you will be warming up quite a bit. But yeah, that is probably one of my favourite times of years to go. And now we are moving on to the time of year that I very rarely visit, summertime. For two reasons. One, the school holidays, the 6-week holiday. You are not going to catch me at Disney during the 6-week summer holiday. Queues are going to be absolutely nightmares. Like, I've seen some from like August time, like, you know, when all the kids are off, and it's absolutely insane. And plus heat waves. This year we got hit with so many heat waves and it was absolutely ridiculous at Paris. A few of our daytime parades, like Dream and I'm gonna put that on mute. You are interrupting me. Obviously Dream and Shine Brighter, our 30th anniversary show, which happens 4 times a day. The 2 times which are like classed as midday were pretty much always cancelled because that's the hottest point of the day and nobody wants to be in a costume character dancing around in the full sun. No one wants to be doing that. But anyway, let's just run through the temperatures for you. Starting in June, it is lows of 14, highs of 24. July is lows of 16, highs of 26. And August is lows of 16, highs of 25. This is just the average temperatures. This year the highs got to way more than that. Some points it was in the 30s, like late 30s. I think we did see 38 at Disneyland Paris this year, which is ridiculously hot. So thank you. For the summer months, I don't think I need to give you any recommendations of what to pack. Minimum, pack light, dresses, skirts, shorts, euros for ice creams, those will be needed. It is very hot. I went in July this year and it was like 25 degrees, around that, like mid-20s, and it was bearable temperature. You could still get on with everything, but you did still was sweating a little because it was very warm. I did have a couple of times where Dream and Shine Brighter was cancelled because it was just, the sun was too much. But I was pretty happy with my July trip nonetheless. The temperatures weren't too bad. But yeah, you do have to just be aware when you are getting like to August sort of time. Obviously the entirety of Europe is on summer holidays, so everyone's going to be flocking there. Heat is, yeah, I think that's the same for any Disney park internationally. Midsummer is like a no-no for a lot of people. For heat, busyness reasons, yeah. I was happy with July, but you do have to time it right before the kids break up to go. So yeah, beginning of July, you should be okay. So we have just done summer, which means we are back round to autumn. So yeah, that is the 4 seasons at Disneyland Paris, the average sort of temperatures and what to expect. What I'll also just say is, as I've said, Paris is very similar to London weather, and if you know anything about London or England in general, You should also know the same for France, and that is probably going to rain. More than likely going to rain. So no matter when my Disneyland Paris trips are, you'll always find in my park bag a poncho and an umbrella. Both. You will need both. Even if there is no rain on your forecast for your trip, just put them in the bottom of your bag. Trust me. It is not a trip to France or England without a rainy day, so just always pack your brolly just in case. So I think that is everything. If you have any questions about the various times of year at Disneyland Paris that I didn't cover in this video and you would like to know about, do just let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to try and help you. If you have been to Disneyland Paris, let me know what your favourite time of year is to visit. What season is your favourite time to visit? I probably do have to say like September, March for me, because decent temperature, decent queues. Pretty decent. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please pop that thumbs up button, and if you'd like to see more from what, do click subscribe down below, and while you're down there, don't forget to ding the notification bell, you might as well. You do down there, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.